Alright, class, today I will be talking about the mishaps of technology. Alright, so as the human race progresses, we must learn to deal with issues that we come across. In more recent years, we have turned technology to help us deal with these issues. However, we have become too dependent on technology to the point where we are becoming more and more obsolete as humans. According to Anderson, most experts, regardless of whether they are optimistic or not, express concerns about the long-term impact of these new tools on the essential elements of being human. What this means is that many people could become affected in a negative way by artificial intelligence, such as people losing their jobs over machines, and not just any jobs, but professions that we go to school for a long time, like doctors and engineers. Also, companies that manufacture this type of technology are also at risk, since they may overlook potential consequences since their main goal is profits, not really how their employees are affected by this technology. This is also carried into real life scenarios, such as like in the classroom. Many kids will start to lose attention during long lectures and struggle with reading because it's like their phone is always calling their name. So it's really taking away from our attention span. Another important thing that Nicholas Carr states in his work called "Is Google Making Us Dumber?" is how the way that we are learning information is also changing due to technology. As we continue to learn from the internet, our brain is expecting us to retain information the same way the internet gives it out, which is fast and in a hurry. But this can be bad because instead of keeping this information, we may just remember parts and bits of it, so it becomes useless in the long run. Another big issue with technology is that it affects the way that we interact with others, especially with people that we are seeking a romantic relationship with. Our family time is also being impacted mainly to our phones and things like video games that can become very addicting. I sort of learned this the hard way, since growing up I was really addicted to video games. Alright, so the internet and technology have been around for a while now. Obviously, we all know that. But we are just starting to see how it affects the brain as more and more technology becomes available for us to use. Some would say that the internet is a powerful tool that allows us to look up a vast amount of information, and it's very time efficient. But this is true, but it is also changing the way the brain functions, because technology is I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know how to put it in words, but it's changing the way our brain functions the more we use technology. So we say, for instance, for whatever reason we don't have technology anymore, our brain gets used to needing technology to function. That, in other words, it makes us slower. So in turn, technology is making us not necessarily stupid, but it's harming us in ways that we can't really see, if that makes sense. Like we can see, like the reason I say we can see them is because we use it every day, that it's becoming the usual. Like, you know what I mean? Like we've always been around technology, but say technology ceases to exist, and then we would see that little by little is changing the way we function, and not in a good way, in a negative way. But yeah, that's my presentation.